Good evening. Welcome to California Today. I'm Ling Zhang. Here is a preview of some of today's stories. Unprecedented amounts of rain soaked the state over the New Year weekend. Many areas saw flooding, power outages, and more. A Riverside County Sheriff's deputy lost his life in the line of duty. The deputy's passing was the first in over a decade for the county. And marijuana is being grown illegally in the state. One reporter tells of his documentary on the illegal operations. California had a wet start to the new year. Parts of the state were flooded over the weekend. Heavy rain caused power outages, road closures, and at least 2 rivers to spill over. NTD's Jeremy Sandberg has more on the deluge.
A powerful weather system called an atmospheric river brought heavy rain to parts of Northern California on New Year's Eve. Atmospheric rivers are columns in the atmosphere that can carry moisture thousands of miles. Heavy flooding partially submerged cars in San Francisco on Saturday. The storm caused 2 levees to break down near Sacramento, flooding roads and fields. Spillover from the Cosumnes River forced the closure of Highway 99 south of Elk Grove. Highway 101 was temporarily closed in both directions in South San Francisco Saturday. Highway 50 and Interstate 80 also had to be partially shut down temporarily. Officials reported at least 2 storm-related deaths. One person was found inside a completely submerged vehicle in southern Sacramento County, and another struck by a fallen tree at a state park in Santa Cruz. The storm forced some residents out of their homes on New Year's Eve after evacuation orders were issued. Others had to be rescued from their cars. Around 235,000 homes and businesses were without electricity in California and Nevada on Sunday. On the other side of the coin, the moisture could bring some relief for drought-stricken areas. 2022 started out with California's driest beginning to the year on record. It's still not clear how much of a dent the storm will make on drought conditions. Over 15 million people from the West Coast to Wisconsin were under winter weather alerts Sunday. Jeremy Sandberg, NTD News.
Speaking of flooding, heavy rain over the New Year weekend also caused some major damage to the Oakland Zoo. It is temporarily closed as zoo officials work with a local company to repair a sinkhole as soon as possible. Oakland Zoo announced that it is closed and it will reopen January 17th or possibly later. This is due to a 10 feet wide and 10 feet deep sinkhole. The zoo wrote in a Facebook post that heavy rainfall collapsed a culvert pipe located under the zoo's vehicle entrance near Golf Links Road. On-site engineers say the additional rain expected over the next several days could worsen the sinkhole. Zoo officials added that all animals and staff have remained safe during the extreme weather. Staff will continue to take care of the animals while the zoo is closed. The zoo says guests who had reservations anytime between January 1st and 17th will receive an email about refunds. Last week, a California sheriff's deputy was shot in a line of duty. He was conducting a routine traffic stop when he was killed, which sparked a manhunt for the shooter.
32-year-old Isaiah Albert Cordero, a Riverside County Sheriff's Motor deputy, was conducting a traffic stop when he was shot and killed. He joined the department in 2014.
I am deeply heartbroken to share with you that we lost one of our own today who was killed while serving his community.
According to officials, Cordero approached the vehicle of William Shea McKay.
As he approached the vehicle, the suspect produced a gun and shot Deputy Cordero. A community member who witnessed the shooting called 911. Our department, along with some allied agencies, responded immediately. Residents tried to help Deputy Cordero until law enforcement and paramedics arrived.
After paramedics arrived, Cordero was transported to Riverside Community Hospital, where he later died from his injuries.
Law enforcement agencies in San Bernardino County and Riverside County began a massive manhunt for the suspect. The suspect was located in San Bernardino County, and a vehicle pursuit was initiated.
The pursuit resulted in a freeway chase through both counties.
Deputies were successful with a spike strip near the intersection of Valley Way and the 60 freeway in Jurupa Valley. However, the vehicle continued.
The spike strip disabled the two rear wheels of the truck that McKay was driving. The suspect eventually crashed into another car. Sheriff Bianco says at the conclusion of the pursuit, the suspect fired at deputies who then returned fire, killing McKay. According to Bianco, McKay has an extensive criminal history, including kidnapping, robbery, multiple arrests for assault with a deadly weapon, and more. McKay was convicted of his third strike in November 2021.
Instead of sentencing him to 25 years to life, which should have happened, the judge lowered his bail, allowing him to be released.
In a separate statement, California Governor Gavin Newsom extended his deepest sympathies to Cordero's family, friends, and colleagues. Cordero is survived by his mother, Rebecca, and father, Gilbert. Police officials said Cordero also had a girlfriend and older stepbrother. Cordero is the first Riverside County deputy killed in the line of duty in over 10 years. Flags at the state capitol will be flown at half-staff in honor of the deputy.
Up in rural Northern California, a huge illegal marijuana grow operation is raking in billions. A reporter shares what he learned about the grows when he worked on a documentary about it.
Little do most people know, thousands of marijuana grows are operating illegally in the mountains of Siskiyou County. Jorge Ventura, reporter and producer who investigated the illegal grows, put together a documentary called Narcofornia. He told California Insider's Siamak Karami about the hidden world of illegal marijuana growth in California.
Up in Northern California, it's Mexican cartels, it's Chinese, it's Russians, you have California prison gangs, and then you also have this kind of, what we explored more was the Hmong community being involved in illegal grow operations. And we were absolutely fascinated by not only the control that these cartels have, but also what they did just to local communities. We interviewed firefighters who actually told us that there's areas up in Northern California that they don't respond to 911 calls because it's all cartel related, heavily armed folks.
Ventura said legal marijuana growers are shrinking because they can't compete with the black market.
So it's all the cartel stuff because A, they're not paying any taxes into the system. They don't even pay their workers. Or workers, majority of the time, are actually smuggled from Central America, and they're actually paying off a debt here. They're stealing the water, so that's hurting us here in California because we're in a major drought.
Ventura explained that in 2006, the Siskiyou County clerk noticed 600 new registered voters, all Asian names. This was unusual in a small rural area with a population of about 2,000, consisting of mainly whites and Hispanics.
And when she started to look at the names, she started to notice that the names were also registered to vote in other counties. And actually, majority of those names didn't have an address in Siskiyou. Now, what they did find is one parcel, which is like a little piece of land, had 55 registered voters.
Wow.
The clerk forwarded the information to the Secretary of State and sent officials to investigate. They asked the county sheriff officials to accompany them.
The sheriffs had to be well armed in these areas because this is all, cartel, illegal marijuana grow controlled areas. And they found out what I just told you was alarming, which they found out one house, 27 registered voters, one house, 60 registered voters, 55 registered voters. And then the names were also registered to vote in other counties, and some of them still dating back to Minnesota.
Ventura explained that the Hmong people moved to Siskiyou County from Minnesota and bought parcels of land. Later, they started growing marijuana illegally on it.
So what these Hmong farmers are doing, or growers, is they're finding white farmers that are willing to sell them water under the table, and they're buying, there's an estimate there's about 9 million gallons of water either being stolen or kind of being bought illegally under the table, and they're being brought to these farms to grow. So the farmers have been getting hit the hardest.
He explains there's also inflation and violence in the community. And unlike Los Angeles, where there are enough officers to tackle an illegal marijuana grow, Siskiyou County is small and lacks personnel.
So I asked one of the sheriff deputies, I said, hey, if you don't mind, what are you making? Tackling on cartel grows and weapons and human smuggling, traffic, and water theft. He says, we actually start off at just $20 an hour. I said,
wow.
$20 an hour to take on these guys heavily armed, illegal growers, all types of stuff. He says, yeah, he's like, that's why we can't find enough bodies, because who wants to get paid $20 an hour to take on cartels and being in a risk of a gunfire fight?
Ventura says the amount of people missing is high and is connected to the illegal grow operations. Law enforcement told him in the Hmong community alone, their illegal grow operation in Siskiyou County is a $49 billion black market industry.
To watch the full program, find the California Insider on YouTube or Epic TV on the Epic Times website. Since California adopted the nation's first ban on single-use shopping bags, most grocery stores have turned to reusable, recyclable bags. However, the state's attorney general is challenging those claims.
In 2014, California banned single-use shopping bags. To comply with the law, most grocery stores have turned to thicker, reusable plastic bags that are supposed to be recyclable. But now, Attorney General Rob Bonta is investigating whether those bags are truly recyclable as required by the state's law. In a recent statement, he says, "We've all been to the store and forgotten to bring our reusable bags. At least the plastic bags we buy at the register for 10 cents have those chasing arrows that say they are 100% recyclable, right? Perhaps wrong." Bonta asked 6 manufacturers, Novalex, Revolution, Interplast, Advanced Polybag, Metro Polybag, and Papier Metzler to prove their bags can be recycled in California. Bonta's office declined to say how many companies responded, citing ongoing investigation. The American Chemistry Council, a plastics industry group, says that most manufacturers disagree with Bonta's characterization. A Novalex spokesman says it is, quote, committed to complying with all state laws and regulations. Policy experts and advocates estimate that just 6% of plastics are recycled in the United States, with the remaining burned, trashed, or littered. The California Retailers Association declined to comment, saying each retailer has its own policy, and the California Grocers Association did not respond to a request for comment.
We are going to take a short break, but here's a look at what we got for you when we come back. A former Twitter employee has been sentenced for acting as a foreign agent. He was convicted for supplying information to Saudi Arabia. And the happiest place on earth has unfortunately seen an increase in brawls on its property. Disneyland theme park puts out a warning on its website calling for respect and kindness. That and more on California Today. Welcome back to California Today. I'm your host, Liang Zhang. A former Twitter employee has been sentenced to federal prison for acting as a foreign agent. The defendant was convicted for his role in a scheme that supplied user information to Saudi Arabia.
On December 14th, a California man was sentenced to 42 months in a federal prison for his role in accessing, monitoring, and conveying confidential and sensitive information to the Saudi royal family and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. On August 9th, 45-year-old Ahmed Abuamo of Walnut Creek was convicted of acting as a foreign agent without notice to the Attorney General, conspiracy, wire fraud, international money laundering, and falsification of records in a federal investigation. He was residing in Seattle and was employed at Twitter as a media partnerships manager for the Middle East and North Africa regions. According to a December 15th press release, the Justice Department's National Security Division said Mr. Abuamo violated the trust placed on him to protect the privacy of individuals by giving their personal information to a foreign power for profit. His conduct was made all the more egregious by the fact that the information was intended to target political dissidents speaking out against that foreign power. The evidence shows that Abuamo received bribes in exchange for Twitter user accounts and information on dissidents and critics of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He then lied to the FBI and falsified a document when questioned about the transactions in October 2018. District Judge Edward Shen sentenced Abuamo to a 42-month prison term, 3 years of supervision following the release from prison, and a $242,000 forfeiture for his crimes. He was ordered to surrender on March 31st, 2023, to begin serving the prison sentence. David Lamb, NTD News, California.
The Disneyland theme park in Southern California followed Disney World in adding a new warning to their website. This warning came as a result of an uptick in the number of fights reported at the amusement park.
Following an increase in the number of reported fights at Disneyland, the theme park added a new warning to their website. The Disneyland website now features a courtesy section where visitors are asked to treat others with respect, kindness, and compassion. The rules in the advisory also asks people to remain courteous to other parkgoers and cast members by not using profanity or engaging in unsafe, illegal, disruptive, or offensive behavior. According to the Orange County Register, the Anaheim Police Department responded to 21 calls at the theme park in June and 26 in July earlier last year. Some of those call logs reported assault and battery, possession of narcotics, vandalism, brandishing a firearm, and disrupting the peace. The Disneyland Resort website reads, quote, "We have a comprehensive approach to security that includes measures that are visible and others that are not. As precautionary measures, Disneyland is patrolled by park security officers and ununiformed Anaheim police officers."
Shen Performing Arts is currently on its world tour. One California mother took a party of 11 to watch the performance. This is what the family of entrepreneurs said.
Shireen Maynard's family watched Shen Performing Arts on December 30th as a Christmas present.
It's so inspiring and so breathtaking. At the same time, as I'm watching, I just cannot believe not only the technique, the form, the unison that they have, but the spirit in it. Like, I could just feel the spirit in it so strong. And that was so moving to me, because obviously as a dance instructor, trying to bring a group together and have them in unison like that, and just seeing what this group has pulled off is amazing.
They drove from the Northern California city of Winters to the Center for Performing Arts in San Jose. The mother of 4, also a dance instructor, treated the entire family.
This was our Christmas present. We brought all of our family here for their present to be able to come and see this inspiration, because it's a lost art. But it's not lost because you guys are here, and it was just so amazing.
Shen Yun's mission is to revive 5,000 years of traditional culture. Maynard's family noticed that Shen Yun is more than just a performance.
I believe that the dancers come across with purity and almost a holiness. You can tell that they are good inside, and it comes out in their outward expression.
The orchestra is beautiful. I had never, honestly, I'm kind of lost for words. There's so many things I can't, you just have to see it and feel it. But to actually be there and be like, this is a live orchestra. Like, so many times my kids were even like, Mom, like, they're real, like, they're right there. And you could just feel it. And then you're watching the dancers. And one of my sons, he was like, you're watching them and then you think, like, it almost seems like it's not real, but they're so good. It's so beautiful.
The traditional folk dancing of the Chinese culture is a thing of beauty. It really is. It's so different. I haven't seen anything like it before.
Shen Yun will be performing in San Francisco, Reno, Berkeley, Folsom, Fresno, and Modesto in January, and Sacramento in February. NTD News, California.
As part of our news today, we'd like to congratulate Thomas Christian on taking the next steps in his career in communications. He's been a vital part of our sports segment. Now let's welcome our new sports reporter, Tyler Castillo, for today's Sports Roundup.
I'm Tyler Castillo, taking you through the California Today Sports Roundup. The San Francisco 49ers won their 9th straight game, beating the host, the Las Vegas Raiders. The 49ers moved into the number 2 playoff position in the NFC and stayed alive for the number 1 seed with 1 week left in the regular season. Making his first start for Las Vegas following the benching of Derek Carr during the week, Jarrett Stidham threw for 365 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Raiders, who were eliminated from AFC playoff contention. But Stidham's second interception of the day proved costly, as Gibson snatched it at the 37 and ran it 56 yards to the Las Vegas 7-yard line to help set up the game winner. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy finished 22 for 35 for 284 yards and 2 touchdowns with 1 interception. Christian McCaffrey was the game-leading rusher with 121 yards and a 14-yard touchdown on 19 carries. McCaffrey also had 72 yards on 6 receptions. 49ers 37, Raiders 34. Austin Eckler ran for 2 first-half touchdowns, and Justin Herbert threw 2 touchdown passes in the second half as the host Chargers pounded the Rams. Herbert was 21 for 28 for 212 yards as the Chargers won their 4th in a row. Eckler rushed for 122 yards on 10 carries as the Chargers played through their final home game. The Rams were outgained 431 to 277 and didn't score in the second half. Quarterback Baker Mayfield was just 11 for 19 for 132 yards in the air. Running back Cam Akers supplied 123 yards on 19 carries. Chargers 31, Rams 10. Ja Morant scored 35 points as host Memphis pulled away down the stretch to beat Sacramento, ending the Kings' 2-game win streak. Morant scored 9 of his points in the 4th quarter as the Grizzlies held the Kings to 21 points. Morant made 13 of 23 shots and also finished with 8 rebounds and 5 assists. Steven Adams matched his career high with 23 rebounds, including a career-best 13 on the offensive end. De'Aaron Fox scored 19 points to lead the Kings, but shot 7 of 18 and committed 5 turnovers as the Kings were unable to win a 3rd straight. Domantas Sabonis posted his 13th straight double-double with 18 points and 14 boards, while Malik Monk also contributed 18 points. Grizzlies 118, Kings 108. Erik Karlsson got on the score sheet this New Year's with 2 assists, which extends his current point streak to 13 games, a new franchise record for the Sharks. Marc-Edouard Vlasic reached 1,200 games played with the organization, where he found himself on the score sheet with his first goal of the season. Oscar Lindblom reached 300 NHL games, where he put up 2 assists in Chicago. Kaapo Kähkönen saved 20 shots and let in 2 goals, posting a .909 save percentage for the night. Sharks 5, Blackhawks 2. And that's the Sports Roundup from California.
That's all we've got for you tonight. We'd like you to join us again on California Today every weekday at 8:30 p.m. Make sure to check out our broadcasts on our California Today webpage. You can find it at ntd.com/California-today. You can also find all of our top latest clips there, ready to share with friends and family. Send us a message on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or through our email, california.today@ntd.com. I'm Lane Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.